first version of the solution to our company. It was roughly 2.5 months after we actually started working together. Yeah, so support was from the beginning supreme, I would say. That was really also one of the root causes why we were able to launch within 2.5 months from starting. One of the big lessons learned, I think, is it was the absolute right decision to go for a platform that constantly keeps up with the pace of the development. Chances are high that your solution based on an LLM that is like 6 months old is simply not competitive. So that was one lesson learned. Actually, it was quite fun. We managed within a few months to have 100% positive attitude towards working with AI. So we did some survey and 70% of our employees participated, and 2/3 being very high promoters of AI in daily working tasks. It's going to be a competitive advantage if you are able. It is now a competitive advantage if you know how to use the technology, if you know its boundaries at the moment, compared to organizations that ignore the fact that the technology is already in a stage where it can provide significant advantage. Right? Hi, my name is Philip. I'm manager at KBC. I'm the lead of data analytics, business intelligence, and artificial intelligence. Been with the company for 6 years now. We at KBC make our clients' problems our own problems. So we try to find custom solutions to their needs and go beyond 100% by doing so. We have an office in Munich, Germany, and also one in the United States. So what we were trying to do is to get all the information and knowledge we have within the company into a central place and use AI to find the right place for the piece of knowledge that is required. I always try to compare it to a library where you have like a lot of large bookshelves and a lot of books, but you're interested in particular pages of a certain book, but you don't know where that book actually is stored within the library. And that was our main target, to solve this problem and find a solution to centralize knowledge within the entire company.
So do you think you found the solution today?
Yes, I think we found the perfect solution for our problem. First off, we were looking for a partner to discuss on eye level what our requirements are, what we think, what we as a customer need. And we're really happy that we found a partner on the other side who was interested in our ideas and who listened to what we actually wanted to achieve in the end. So I felt from the beginning we had a really good connection working together. I was impressed by the speed at which you guys delivered features we asked for. This was very valuable for both of us. So actually that was the first big win, I would say, because always once you start, you have a lot of ideas, what you want to improve, what additional use cases you might want to solve. My impression was that together we communicated at eye level. It was always a proactive discussion, a solution-oriented discussion and not a problem-oriented discussion. So I found that our working model turned out to be pretty well from the beginning. And we managed within a few months to have 100% people within our company having a positive attitude towards working with AI. So we did some survey and 70% of our employees participated, and turns out 100% positive attitude towards AI, and 2/3 actually being like very high promoters of AI in daily working tasks. So one of the big success factors obviously was once we released the solution, the first version of the solution to our company. I think it was like roughly 2.5 months after we actually started working together to see the first impressions employees were having working with the solution. I think that was a big win, getting positive feedback from our users, being able to actually enable them use the platform and develop their own use cases on where they can additionally use the platform to be more efficient or more productive and achieve better quality.
So how was the experience when you needed to train about 100 people jumping on board?
Actually, it was quite fun. I think you should never underestimate the effort it takes to develop and train the people to use a new technology, right? For me, it's a tool, it's a technology that people use to get better results, to get faster results. But if the people are not able to use it correctly, they will not get the output they want. What we did is, besides the traditional path where you do some educational training sessions, we also generated a platform where the people were able to communicate with each other, share their best practices, their questions, and try to involve everyone in the discussion and share their use cases. The approach we used is also gamification, basically. So I remember a few days after we launched the product, there was a Microsoft Teams conversation involving around how to properly load and unload our dishwasher in the office. So I thought, hey, that's actually a cool hook to put that information inside Text Cortex and then ask our Zeno chat, how do we actually properly unload and load the dishwasher, and joined in that conversation within MS Teams. And we did quite some of those examples in the beginning, and I think it helped people fundamentally understand the potential behind the solution based on very simple daily life examples, right? So it's easy to grasp if someone tells you how to properly load the dishwasher according to our KBC dishwasher loading process. We use that policy and put it inside Text Cortex to make sure that everyone understands how to properly do it. And I think that was kind of fun. So there was a lot of engagement on that post. And I think those examples really help, let's say, break down barriers people might have. I mean, if you talk about that kind of technology, every software you release within a company has implications on training and educating people using it. When we talk about AI, there's also some kind of emotional part and fear people might have coming into contact with AI. And I think that's fundamentally different to, for example, you are introducing a new ERP system, right? Obviously, people will also be like, oh, I want to keep the old solution or whatever, but AI has something that really tackles the fears and emotions of people fearing that they are being replaced sooner or later by AI. So I think this was also critical for us when we released it, that we were openly talking about the benefits and also the things that AI is not capable of doing at the moment. Always focusing on, hey, it's a tool for you to become better. It is not something to replace you entirely, right? I think that helped us breaking down barriers tremendously. Being a consultancy, we had quite an open-minded attitude across the stuff towards AI from the beginning, but we also had some critical and more neutral voices, knowing that it's a tool and knowing where to use it and knowing where to not use it, and also not always expecting the solution to do everything for you. And I think the sooner you understand that, the less fear your employees will have in using the technology, but also the more creative you will be in applying it to different scenarios, different use cases. And I think it's really cool to see, if you walk down our office, you will actually see that it's an integral part. We use it for information gathering, for research, also for content creation and structuring of problems. As a sparring partner, for example, we use it for brainstorming. Yeah? My team uses it for coding and analytical tasks, and also for image generation. Yeah? One of the big lessons learned, I think, is it was the absolute right decision to go for a platform that constantly keeps up with the pace of the development, for example, of the large LLMs. Because if you have a solution that is hard to adjust to general technological developments, chances are high that your solution based on an LLM that is like 6 months old is simply not competitive compared to a newer solution. So that was one lesson learned. The other one, I'd say, is the importance of educating your staff using the tool, talking about using the tool, sharing knowledge. Because What we did or achieved was, at the beginning, it was few people talking a lot about AI to a lot of people, and we tried to generate a dialogue. Everybody shares his or her experience in using AI. I think this helps being more creative as a company, because it helps to understand what other people are using the technology for and what they achieved using it. Train, educate your staff, listen to their concerns, and help them become proficient in using this technology. The third is basically that as soon as you start entering and using this technology in your daily work life, you will find yourself using it more and more frequently from day to day. So I'd say it really changed the way we work as a company within a short period of time. If we create content, we have an own persona that is trained to generate blog articles based on one-pager project references we created. We've got another persona to create those references. And we've got one persona who is specialized in knowing everything about the company, everything the company did in the last 16 to 17 years. And that's interesting. If people start using it and they start to understand the differences in certain agents and personas, it's quite fun to see the creativity within our staff, and they ask for new agents and new use cases frequently. We create an open space and a dialogue where people can talk about their successes, but also their failures in using AI, so that they are not afraid to share their example where something might have not worked. It could be several reasons. But the sooner people feel comfortable in sharing their experiences, you can help them in becoming better at using AI. If you talk about the use cases you have in your daily business and everyone starts doing that, people will have more ideas in incorporating AI in their daily business. It's hard if you just say, okay, now you've got AI, use it in your business, and people will ask themselves, okay, but what can I actually use it for? For which tasks is it suitable? Which prompts do I have to use? Which knowledge bases do I have to use for this task? If you are letting them alone in a huge field of options, they will have an internal barrier in actually start using it. In my experience, the hardest part is getting people to use a new technology and get over the first wave of success and failure and get over that basically. And then you have that constant rate of incremental improvements in their skill set, and they will constantly improve the time spent using technology and AI technology for their daily habits. I think the first weeks are so critical on where the individual path of each user is going. And it's totally normal that within such a broad technology and within limited user experience at the beginning, so you have a lot of options, but you have limited experience, then obviously there might be some failures or concerns. If you're not managing to help them get over that, they will simply not stick to the solution. And in the long run, it's going to be a competitive advantage if you are able. It is now a competitive advantage if you know how to use the technology, if you know its boundaries at the moment. Organizations that ignore the fact that the technology is already in a stage where it can provide significant competitive advantage. Right? Yeah, so support was from the beginning supreme, I would say. I remember talking to your engineering heads and trying to find solutions for problems we had, being it the integration to certain software solutions, but also other parts. From the beginning, you could actually feel that both parties were extremely solution-oriented and not problem-oriented. Whenever we had a question, Text Cortex was really fast in delivering answers and results. I have to say that I really enjoyed, and I still do, working with you guys. It was a very collaborative style of working together. So I think that was really also one of the root causes why we were able to launch within 2.5 months from starting to lay out what we're trying to achieve and then actually launching the product to our entire staff in a town hall meeting. And without the quick responses you guys had on our questions and also the quick solutions you were able to provide, I think it wouldn't have been possible to release the solution within that short period of time. Getting deeper into our partnership, using and combining the experiences we have, both on the technological and on the processes and organizations. We are working together to develop new use cases and applications around the platform of Text Cortex to bring even better results, to create agents that are connected to even more platforms and systems. We've had a workshop today where we discussed several opportunities and ranked them and prioritized them. And I must say I'm pretty excited about working with you on developing those use cases and bringing it to our joint customers, and looking forward to our road in the future where we will collaborate to bring AI to more companies and to bring more use cases into the platform of Text Cortex. Kurz da drauf, bisschen mittig und dann fertig. Final take.